MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by The Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below.
Order filled. 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 Order submit. Order filled. Order filled.
MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by the Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below. All right, mic check, mic check. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a good week. Let me see. It sounds like everything's coming through good. All right. Yep. Let me turn this audio down a bit. All right, so I changed things up a bit this morning. Wanted to, try something out different, just to see how that worked out. And it also gave me I had to test something that I was experiencing some order lag for, I feel like I've been experiencing that with one of my accounts for just on and off for a while. Sometimes I write it off as computer problems or something. But I mean, in hindsight, when I think about it, that doesn't really make sense. So, I was really experiencing it this week. So I wanted to test that out this morning. And at the same time, try this different format. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section and everything. And what y'all think about the different formats that I've tried out. I like to try out different things, and I value your opinion, of course. Right? I'm not just on these streams for myself. So anyway, get into where we at today. They before the open, they did use that 8:30 retail sales news, as a way to kind of get rid of some of their leftover inventory they were actually, I think they were picking up inventory, doing some budgeting overnight. We had a really tight power range for our session. But then around, well, we actually started picking up volatility, I think during the Asian hours. Yeah, so like around 9 p.m. last night, Eastern time, some volatility started picking up, widened the spread a bit more than our initial balance, which, you know, put a lot of risk on the board, overall. It put a lot of risk on the board because it doesn't take much for a price to move about 10 points, or it doesn't take much for price to move 10 points within a short period of time. So that's just something that, not just like to maintain awareness of. Usually doesn't change much of what I'm doing. It's just something I just maintain awareness of. I've already factored in all that stuff within my strategy to be fluent. I appreciate that, Origin. So then they use that. So going back to what I was talking about, they used that 8:30 news, kind of delayed it a little bit. We saw volatility did pick up at 8:30, and then we picked up some momentum around 8:45 to really let go of that inventory, to let go of that supply. And then they started a rotation all over again, and we're just collecting inventory since the open with a little bit of aggression. I think it's the best way to say it. And also, keeping my ears to the streets. I'm just gonna call it that from now on. The ES traders are really feeling it too, but it's all perspective. So actually, that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because it's kind of it frustrates me a bit, and I wish it didn't. I kind of wish it didn't frustrate me, but because it frustrates me, that motivates me to put out content, because it's a mindset, and what I'm talking about is all the negative talk. So whatever energy you put out, that's the energy that you're gonna get. So if anytime price is doing something and you're complaining about it, or you're speaking negatively about it, then the result you're going to get from that experience is going to be quote unquote negative, right? So if you want to flip that, then look for the positive. Look for there's always, if there's a negative, there's going to be a positive. And this is what I decided to do in terms of the range, and that's why I live inside the range now, and what people call chop, I live inside of that. That's where I get my best setups. And what I noticed is once I kind of made myself neutral in that whole, in the beginning I did buy into chop is bad and all the negative ideas and theories about certain types of price action and certain types of structure. But I started to, me as just who I am, I'm neutral just by in nature. So from that, I was able to see that there was benefits inside of these choppy areas, inside of this range, right? Now it takes experience in order to be able to get used to it. And before, in the beginning, the chop was really volatile. I couldn't make any sense of it. It just seemed so fast, and all the high volatility just seemed too fast for me to be able to do anything with. But as I continued to watch, I came in here every day and I was watching and watching and watching. And eventually I got used to it and it slowed down. So even in high volatile times, it seems slow to me because, I'm just used to seeing it. So that's where experience plays in, is the more you watch this stuff, making sure that you're not speaking negativity in what you're seeing, it'll start, and even sometimes you can still negatively, if you would stay and watch this long enough, you'll still start to see some stuff, but you won't be able to execute on it as well, because you're looking at it, the way that you have your negative perspective on it, that you have, right? So you'll see it, but you won't know what to do with it, or you won't be able to react to it. Every time you try to play it, it'll go against you. That's how it'll play in your mind, just because that's what you're speaking into that environment. So you definitely have to be, and I feel like I'm not, this is not I'm kind of ranting here, and it's not organized as I would like it to be, but you gotta, you have to, you have to speak in, what you want into existence, pretty much. And in this environment, there's always opportunities. There's always money to be made. As long as the market is open, there's money to be made. So there is no point from the open to the close, there's no point where there's no ability to make money. Why? Because what you're seeing move the price is making money. Something in that is making money. There's also something in that that's losing money, but there's something in that that's making money. And as a retail trader, if you figure it out, you can also make money in no matter what the movement is, no matter what, you can build a strategy around all the different types of price actions, and when things are super volatile, and you can, as a strategy for every situation, because all of the strategies, one of my favorite quotes, every strategy works, just not all the time. But you only get to that point. And I've made strategies for a lot of different situations. And, in the moment, I may have given myself some negative talk, and I didn't benefit from that. I may have had, even your thoughts are important, because I had some negative thoughts, and I was only seeing the downside of it. Or, I wasn't seeing it in a way that I could truly benefit from it. But I went back in hindsight, and I realized that all of those strategies did work when they worked. And I could have, when they worked, would have paid for the times when they didn't work. Which is why I've been talking about consistency a lot lately. But I just had to get that off about all the negative speak that I hear. And that's a lot of times, like, I'm very careful for what kind of rooms I join. And so I don't spend a lot of times in a lot of trading rooms. I've been in several trading rooms, mainly 2. And if the one that I've spent the most time didn't have so much value in it because of the one person that's the head of it, then I wouldn't have stuck around for as long as I did stick around in that room. And to me, it's just about people, and this market is about people. And the reason why I join and to get into rooms is I like to hear what people are. I like to get a sentiment of the people that are in this environment. I like to get that sentiment in that moment, and the best way to do it for me has been to join a trading room and to see what they're talking about. And a lot of times that'll match up with what you see on the charts, because really it's just a reflection of us. So we're still inventory seeking. We just took the elevator. It looks like to a new session low around 9:10. Kind of wasn't paying attention to the chart while I was, going through all of that. I like this format too, Origin, because I get triggered a lot. I get triggered a lot when I'm listening to different things, and when even when I have like certain conversations, especially around the market, around like things that are going on in the world, and I want to make a video, but it's not, with my schedule, it's not easy to make just regular videos. So the best time for me to do it is while I'm trading. Just turn the camera on, turn the mic on, and then I can get it off there. picked up some strong inventory. Well, we had a strong inventory point at 910. I'll be looking here to see, we got automation above us around 950. The automation that I keep track of. And when I say automation, that's just, I picked out a specific algorithm that I use as automation. And I don't pay attention to the, there's the mechanical automation, and then there's the algorithm that I'm watching. And that's, I just try to keep it as simple as possible. So we're back at supply at inventory at 910. Picking up some more inventory there. So now I'll be looking to see if we set up shop here. Or we're gonna continue looking for the discounts. Which more sell-off is actually possible. But eventually, eventually it makes sense for them to set up shop. If not even take us back to what I called them the short, I think that was yesterday, the hot zone. And that's kind of what we saw at the open, to where we got this, the hot zone was set pretty much at the session open. And we had that supply, that dump of supply right before the open, and we went back to the hot zone. But we went right through that, and now we're searching for more inventory, because we let all of our inventory go right before the open. And speaking of triggers, that puts me at a point to where I need to start marking my triggers off on my charts. Of course, yesterday with all that, I think it was yesterday with the movement, I had a lot of triggers. And what I ended up doing yesterday was I traded live. Like, I traded in my regular accounts. I did my regular trading for I took maybe 2 or 3 trades. And then once I realized what kind of environment we were in, and once I recognized the predator, I just took my profits from there, what I had as profits, and I switched to sim just to get some more practice shots up. It gave me a good environment, because there's something I've been needing to work on, and something like what I need to improve, and it gave me the perfect environment to work on improving that yesterday. So, there was a lot of course, going back to the complaining, there's a lot of that going on yesterday, of course. But for me, just keeping that, keeping the energy of what I want to get from the markets, it gave me exactly what I needed in that time. I really can't stress that enough, that just the talk and what that'll do, to your business, this business that you're in, because it is a business. Just flipping that, and just whatever it's just, it is what it is. And really, this idea, or this concept, really deserves a deep dive to really explain, to go deep into what I'm talking about. It kind of amazes me that people don't see it, because you get the evidence of it. Well, I've always had evidence of it, throughout my life. But again, the main thing there is you have to maintain awareness. And just to be real, a lot of people are walking around in zombie mode. But that's without getting too deep down the rabbit hole. That's by design. But anyway, back to what we're looking at here in the markets. So we did lower inventory down to 900, nice hold number. looking at some budgeting. What we do, I would call this a shop between 900, really 910, kind of an extension of the shop to 900. And then looking at supply between 930 and 940. Exactly. That's well said. If you present with intent to succeed, to grow, in the best or worst of times, it's revealed for you to see. It's all up to us and our drive. Absolutely. Back to inventory at 900. We'll see what kind of response we get there. We actually front ran that 900, or that inventory. That's what I called out the inventory point. We front ran that, and then we set up. I can actually see a potential setup to trap some buyers, which gives us some stops to buy more inventory off of. There we go. We continuing to hit stops, getting our inventory off of stops. Pausing for a second. This is painting a picture that can keep taking us lower. There's a lot of momentum. A whole lot of delta came in at that time. Sweet. We're taking inventory here right below 870. And from here, I'm interested to see how low we can take this. We did pick up our flash. Some, it did have like a quick inventory pickup below that last inventory point that I called out. But the way that they're doing this, I can see them not being done with looking for discounts. All right, let's see if they continue with what they've been doing, or are they done? Back into automation. Stopping for supply at automation. Okay, now our buyers is really getting into. So there's so many perspectives to go there. So we're just going to stick with wholesale. So they're going to, or they're actually taking the stairs now. And it's still, what we're looking like, how I'm reading this is it's still possible that we're setting up stops to pick up inventory. So I'm not really seeing the type of price action that would, lead me to believe that we're actually, but that the predator is out of the way. That's the best that's the best way I can think to put it, because and then I could be wrong, of course, but just the way that I'm reading this, how we take price up quickly, how we take up, we get rid of inventory, we get rid of supply at higher prices, and then we go right back inside the zone. And this is kind of it's kind of difficult to explain, because this is the budgeting movement, to where they are actually creating buy orders to set up orders to collect inventory off of. So we know that a lot of people like to say, and I'm looking at this at a very extremely micro level, but if I'm looking at it, more than likely someone else is. But the way that they're working this is they have a point to where they create a supply zone, they created a demand zone, and they'll break it out of that and then bring it right back. So that's how we can see that they're using whatever stops that their breakout created to pick up more inventory. And then they'll decide what they want to do with that inventory from there. Do they want to keep collecting more, or do they want to release that supply at higher prices and pay themselves? So we're just slowly raising supply and inventory at the same time. Sort of taking a ladder at this point, because we don't have any real momentum, any real directional momentum. Yep. We find new participants on these new triggers. That's a great way of putting it. Now we got automation below us at 880. We got a response off that automation. So here we go with the negative talk. So a lot of this that we've witnessed here within the last, let me see what time frame we're looking at. Let's see, this started, I would say, between 1021. So it started at 1021. So the last 5 to 6 minutes, what we've seen is what people would recognize as chop. Now, when we're experiencing this kind of chop, a lot of people will find this to be untradeable. And because of what they're saying, oh, here we go again, and it's so boring, and all the stuff. I kind of dump all of that stuff. Like, it goes in one ear, not the other. And I just let it pass through while it triggers me at the same time. But there will be a lot of negative talk within the 6 minutes, calling it untradeable, and this is so difficult and so hard, and all the stuff, right? But I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe more opportunities where I could have taken some quick scalps, some quick in and outs, and structurally it made perfect sense to trade it that way. That could have, made a really nice, like in that I could have made my whole week within that little 6-minute time period, just by simply removing all the negative sentiment and then seeing what's actually there. Really at first you got to neutralize it. Well, the way that I would do it, the way I do it is I neutralize it, and then I see what's there, and then I'll move from a positive state from there. So if I would have been trading there, I could have made out really nice there. And understanding this concept of wholesale, helps a lot for me personally to be able to find these opportunities. Because you kind of, instead of seeing what happened, you actually realized, instead of seeing just the patterns and the print on the charts, you actually have some insight into what's creating that, so you can kind of judge what is possible to happen next, instead of just being just stuck on the can't think of the word I'm looking for right now, but just instead of just being stuck on just recognizing patterns and going off of probabilities inside of a pattern. It actually helps to have a narrative behind the pattern that you see. Of course, that's my opinion. All right, so we took the elevator there briefly, and then we're back on the ladder. They're painting this for a reversal. But my overall trend bias based off the power range would have to be short. But we are sort of far away from the hot zone, so they can take supply back to the hot zone. The hot zone in this point being the neutral zone, which is based off the power range. Or they can let the hot zone come to price or to supply. So that's still, of course, that's also the possibility that we can go on another inventory hunt at discounted prices. So that's what I would be. That's kind of that's as much of a speculation that I'll do. With what's possible in the from where we are now, from what has played out already. And with all that being said, that's going to bring my session to a close. Everybody that came through, I appreciate you. And I hope you have a good weekend and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Trade it easy.